when the right-wing attacks on Jamal, based on his past, were circulated this week, I felt this is so wrong, but it gives people who knew Jamal a chance to say, yes, that's where he began, but he became a believer in the things that we as Americans cherish. Freedom, the ability to speak out, the ability to challenge your leadership. And he also became fearless in a way that I think people everywhere should admire. And in death, he is changing his country in the way that he dreamed of.
Funny you say that. Do you really believe that? Do you really think this is having an impact inside the kingdom?
It's having a huge impact inside the kingdom. I don't know where this is going to end up. It's clear that Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince, would like to find a convenient fall guy to pin the blame. I wrote several days ago that
what does that do? I don't know. How do they think that helps them? Oh, it was an associate.
So if they could have an investigation and announce that this rogue killer, is the phrase President Trump kind of package it up for them as the way to deal with this. They could blame it on the rogue killer, and they have this deputy head of their intelligence service who they're kind of getting ready to play this role. If that would make it go away, they would do that. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that that's not going to work.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.